distance between the back side of the disturbance envelopes from 4, 5, and 6. And that 60, 60, 50, 100 feet from lot 3 and lot 2's disturbance envelope to the property line. Then we go to tract D, which is private open space, but the whole entire property will be encumbered by a public open space easement. So there's no development that will take place on that.
And in terms of, and I guess Steve, you and Jeff can speak to this as well while you're up here.
However you want at a time here, sorry.
Yeah. So the next question with regards to tract D and with regards to this area between the disturbance envelopes and the property line for lot 6, 5, and 4, what's the current condition of the forest in that area?
The forest is fairly consistent all the way through. It's lodgepole pine. There's a number of very, very mature trees, and probably anywhere from 10 to 15% of them are standing beetle kill. And we are meeting with well, we have the fire mitigation plan did not specifically identify the amount of forest, but we did note that it was very consistent throughout the entire property.
My observation is I'd say there's plenty of spruce in there as well, and I think it's a little bit denser forest on the. I'm trying to think of on the left side of Sally Robert Road.
The lower side?
Yeah, I think from my eyes, I feel like it's a little bit denser than the upslope side. It's a little thinner. Just for Thomas to know kind of the description, in my opinion.
Going back to the open space, I'm a little confused now because we're talking about maybe it would be private open space, maybe it would be managed by open space and trails.
Right, so tract D, which is this whole area wrapping around to here, will be public open space specifically. The trails, which are located on here, will be public open space and dedicated as such. The parking area will also be public open space and dedicated as such, either as a part of tract D or separately. Tract D is the only open space tract. We put that into place in a more recent iteration just to ensure that there wouldn't be any disturbance or any complications regarding the preservation of that corridor. And at this point in time, it's designated for private or public?
It's private open space.
Private.
But there's going to be we're going to provide an easement over the entire section.
Public access.
Yes, for public access is correct.
But not managed by open space and trails.
No. But the trails will be ostensibly, which is kind of part of the list.
Do you know if there are any cisterns up in that area in general? I just can't recall. I know there are neighborhoods that have applied through county wildfire mitigation grants that are available throughout Summit County. I just wasn't sure if there are any cisterns kind of up in the area, and if not, water storage. I'm sorry, water storage cisterns. And if you might be agreeable to having potentially a dedicated spot down the road to have a cistern potentially next to the parking spot or something. Well, I just wasn't sure if there's any cisterns up there.
We'd be absolutely agreeable to dedicating a spot for a cistern.
Yeah,
I don't believe
and
there
I know
is.
that red, white, and blue seems to be fine, but the proposal as it is, but it might be something interesting to think about.
We've met with Jay probably 6 times over the course of the year, and cisterns have never come up.
Okay.
But I'm 100% behind Danny in terms of if it makes sense and Jay would find it to be a good idea, then we would certainly be willing to identify some locations where that might make sense.
Have you gotten far enough along with red, white, and blue to know where they'll want fire hydrants as part of water service?
Yes, so we sat down with him almost as recent as 2 weeks ago, and he specifically identified 4 locations. The requirement is 1,200 linear feet from the source to a home. and we've shortened that up. We originally had that design, but we've shortened that up to just under 700 feet now. So more importantly, there's a fire hydrant at the intersection of Baldy and Sally Barber, which actually moves the fire hydrant roughly 500 feet closer to the Juniata Circle neighborhood. In addition to that, we have one additional placed at the end of Sally Barber, closest to our good neighbors up to the north, and then we have 2 units on the new Fuller Placer Road.
They're going to require you to actually sprinkle the single-family homes?
Only if they are built larger than 6,000 feet, and that will be left up to the individual purchaser, or that'll be dependent upon
The duplexes for the affordable will have to be sprinkled, right?
They will not. They'll also just fall under the requirements of this particular size, and because of the size that we've designed, we're falling under that minimum. Yeah.
All right.
Turn you on.
Okay. I'll continue. Please, if there's any other questions or anything pops up, just let me know. Stop me. So, essentially, what we're looking at here is for the county, particularly in this area of the county, the unincorporated area of the Upper Blue Basin. As far as I know, the first private initiated affordable housing project that kind of follows the lead of what was laid out through the affordable housing mapping process that was done in the Joint Upper Blue Master Plan, and the first notion of collaborating with the different public entities to accomplish that. Without going into further detail regarding the parameters of design, we can certainly discuss that at any point in time, to whatever degree you would like. What I really want to focus on right here is the master plan and how the master plan really calls for this and the import of the master plan. I just received about an hour or 2 ago a copy of the letter that was about 26 pages long from the adjacent property owners, kind of like a trial brief filed on the day of trial. So I won't delve too much into that, but there are very important master plan policies that we need to discuss. And I think one of the first things that we should discuss is how the master plan comes into play over here. And there are a lot of factors, and this goes right to Chapter 2 of the code. And I'll just go through these really quickly, but in Section 2000 of the code, Section A notes that it's recognized that over time master plans may need to be amended as community goals and factors affecting land uses change. And it calls for constant modifications to the master plan to meet new community goals as they come along. In B of that same section, it talks about the fact that all of the master plans are to be interpreted and used in harmonious fashion. And so that includes the countywide comprehensive plan and all the basic master plans that are applicable here. It also talks about the review authority striking the proper balance to various master plan goals and policies, and the attribute this is the big part, the attribution of weight to such goals and policies for any particular proposal, which is essential in determining if general conformity is achieved. I could go on, but I guess one of the most important ones is in Section 2800D of the master plan, where it says, no specific master plan policy may be considered mandatory, and thus attribute a greater weight in consideration of the general conformity of any application on that basis alone, unless expressly provided for. And where the structure of all this is trying to balance the fact that, yes, we acknowledge the land use designation is T5. We also acknowledge that we're looking for a rezoning that doesn't reflect T5 land use designation. And we are not saying we want to ignore that land use designation. We are not saying we want to pretend it's not there. We are not saying that that policy doesn't have